Hello, my name is Savannah Guzman,
And I'm Molly Barton.
and we welcome you to tonight's showing of World News. Tonight, we will be talking to you about why the poverty in Malawi is so extreme.
Yes, and the things that are occurring because of it.
16.7 million people live in Malawi.
And 53% of those people live below the poverty line.
Also, since 90% of the population live in rural areas, HIV and AIDS is a very common thing for people to get,
Making the life expectancy of most Malawians around 50 years old.
The government of Malawi is not very strong, so they struggle when it comes to major problems.
Such as expanding and building the economy, improving education, healthcare, and even becoming financially independent.
Malawi is the poorest country in the world that has few natural resources, and for such a small country, it is densely populated.
The poverty is so high in Malawi because the government doesn't share much or spread out the total amount of money that the whole country has.
Yes, so only few people get money while others suffer to live. On average, every kid usually gets one meal a day.
And when they get home, they long to go to school the next day to receive another meal.
Healthcare in Malawi is so bad that they only have one doctor for every 50,000 people, according to the World Health Organization.
And over 1 million kids are orphaned due to HIV and AIDS.
When it comes to schooling, 65.8% of the population can only read and write at the age of 15, according to the CIA.
Why should these kids' education be jeopardized because the government is too greedy?
Malawi is listed one of the most impoverished countries, ranking 172 out of 182 in the Human Index.
And if the government doesn't change its ways, then the country will remain the same and go downhill. Malawi is trying to find ways to boost its low export earnings.
So they're going to exploit their uranium reserves and explore Lake Malawi for oil and gas.
Malawi's economy is mainly agricultural,
constituting of 80% of the population living in rural areas.
The International Fund for Agricultural Development is working in harmony with Malawi's government to promote agricultural growth in rural areas.
This is an effort to reduce poverty throughout Malawi. Due to poverty, poor access to healthcare, disease, and food shortage, over 90,000 Malawi individuals live with HIV and AIDS, which accounts for every 1 in 10 adults.
Poor leadership, massive embezzlement, diversion of public funds, civil wars, international interference, years of unrest and poor economic and development policies are all reasons why Malawi and other countries in Africa experience severe poverty.
Malawi's economy has largely been agricultural based, with the sector contributing more than 1/3 of gross domestic product and 90% of export revenues.
Consequently, the contribution of other sectors to GDP has increased, with agricultural declining from about 38% in 1994 to 27% in 2010.
Although Malawi has improved the welfare of its citizens, the country still faces a number of challenges, including insufficient energy generation and supply,
high transportation costs, inadequate skilled human resource, and inadequate financial resources.
These are all problems that Africa suffers from, and their government is doing nothing to solve them.
So why is the poverty in Malawi so extreme?
Well, because a strong central government is missing and no one takes charge of the problems that are occurring.
So it affects the whole country and its people. This issue must be solved.
That concludes tonight's episode of World News. I'm Savannah Guzman.
And I'm Molly Barton.
Good night.